Hi there, I'm Marla Flowers, and I'm the Director of Community Engagement for the Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce. And today I'd like to introduce you to the CU in Terre Haute 2025 Community Plan. We've got a little agenda. I'm going to talk about what the community plan is. I'm going to introduce you to all of the pillars and task forces and who's on those, who's chairing those, and the progress and updates for each one of those. So what is the CU in Terre Haute 2025 Community Plan? Well, back in 2018 and 19, there was a lot of survey data that was collected. There were over 1,000 participants. They helped formulate the plan. Terre Haute and Vigo County, they strive for growth in all sectors, so the plan identified 6 community pillars, and within each of those pillars, a co-chair was named, priority action items were assigned, and that created a roadmap for successful completion. So how will we measure that success? There's 2 key indicators. One is to halt population decline, and the other is to increase per capita income. So first, I'm going to introduce you to the Economic Development Task Force, and that's led by Rick Berger and Courtney Chapole. And they were assigned priority action items by establishing the West Central Indiana Business Hub, which is in progress. The first was the Launch Terre Haute merger that occurred back in June of 2020. They joined forces with the Chamber. Launch is located at 619 Cherry, and at that time, at the merger, they launched a relaunch. Their focus areas are entrepreneurship, and that's co-working space, supporting entrepreneurs, innovation, bringing new and creative approaches to the community, and then also technology. So in addition to that, there's a development of an online resource portal for the business community. So it's sort of a where to go, what to do resource for small businesses and startups. Additionally, they are to promote regionalism by working with neighboring communities via West Central 2025. Again, that's in progress. So the goal of that, the West Central Initiative, is to spark conversations among chambers and other interested entities within the Indiana 5-county region, which is Vigo, Clay, Vermilion, Sullivan, and Park. We want to increase collaboration among those entities with a main focus on strategic and cohesive political and economic development, influence, and funding opportunities for collaborative projects. Additionally, they are to create a strategic downtown growth plan. Again, that's in progress. A prime example of that is the Open for Tourism. It's a funding mechanism that offers assistance to downtown merchants. The new federal coffee was the first recipient of that funding. And finally, to develop a business concierge to promote tourism and the CU in Terre Haute messaging. That's in planning, and we hope to engage the new Terre Haute Convention Center operator with that process. Next, we have the Health and Wellness Task Force, and that's led by Dr. Caroline Mallory and TJ Warren. So their main priority action item is to establish a community-based recovery center. So we learned last year, mid-last year, that Hamilton Center was a recipient of a nearly $4 million SAMHSA grant, and that's a Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Association grant. That grant will focus on a 24-hour crisis service, which includes a mobile crisis response unit. They're going to improve the process and coordination to community-based services and improve coordination of care through their primary care physician. There's a lot going on with that grant, and again, it's being monitored by the Health and Wellness Task Force. They also want to promote and enhance the Wabash Valley Recovery Center and to promote the regional recovery hub designation, in which Wabash Valley Recovery Center was named as a recipient. Next, we have the Infrastructure Task Force that's led right now by Richard Payon, and we're kind of restructuring that task force. We're in the process of restructuring now. But Richard, what he has done is to create the Neighborhood Revitalization Program by partnering with the United Way Strong Neighborhoods Council, which Richard also leads through the United Way. They've selected the Hearst Rose neighborhood, And then Richard is also looking into conducting surveys that gather information on property conditions, occupancy rates, historic structures, things like that. He is looking into a group called Scout Muncie, and Scout Muncie, what that is they pile a pretty comprehensive database of conditions and historic significance of buildings and neighborhoods in the area. The survey information, it can be used for a variety of purposes, including applications for funding, updating community plans, data and tools for neighborhood associations, just city and county officials, disaster response and tourism, and finally, potential historic designations. So there's a lot of things that could help with. So Richard is looking into all of that. So when I talk about restructuring this task force, in addition to the neighborhood revitalization, we're looking to create an up-to-date housing market dashboard. There's a lot that we can gather through Stats Indiana, but we want to provide a housing-related data that will coincide with some quality of life initiatives that we had, namely a relocation guide for any businesses that want to help recruit. With that, we want to increase home ownership to renter ratio. That's in the planning process, and then develop incentives to improve household conditions and improve neighborhoods. And finally, with the infrastructure, again, it's in the planning process, but we want to develop a unified ordinance code. That's one of the initiatives, and that would be maybe traditional zoning regulations are combined with other regulations, so maybe city, county. So we're looking into that and looking for a leader on that. The Quality of Life Task Force, that's led by Lori Danielson and Rupam Harshawat. They're a pretty busy group, and they've got some priority action items, which is the riverfront development and water attraction. They've identified Fairbanks Park as the focus area. They've actually have the Fairbanks Park Reimagine project. It was submitted and selected by some Rose-Hulman senior students, and they will develop a plan for Fairbanks Park, which includes the riverfront development, repurposing the existing structure to become a splash pad. They want to incorporate the Wabash Valley Crew Boathouse and a new docking system, just to name a few. Additionally, they're going to do a community survey. They want to talk to some folks in the community about what they like at Fairbanks Park, what they don't like at Fairbanks Park, what they'd like to see there, and this will all help with the outcome. Additionally, they want to elevate the existing community assets with a focus on existing trails, and they'll be working alongside Wabash or West Central Thrive because they are essentially, they have under their umbrella is the trail system. And finally, the relocation guide, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be an excellent resource for that business community to utilize in recruitment process, and we are well on our way on that process as well. The Talent Attraction and Retention Task Force is led by Dottie King and Leanne Crooks. Their priority action item really has already been received. They received the 21st Century Talent Region designation, and it's using a number of metrics. It's a very comprehensive, very complex dashboard that was created. But now that it's been created, we're going to be working with regional partners to develop programs for each county. And you can see how complex that is. It's just chock full of information. It's a lot to take in just by the quick visual, but everything there has a purpose, and we are measuring everything. And then the next slide shows all of the entities that helped create that dashboard. Moving on to tourism, that group is led by Susan Turner and David Templeton. Their primary focus right now is gateway beautification. So we've collaborated with Terre Haute Regional Airport to develop a cohesive beautification design, and that, again, is in progress. And what that means is we're looking at the two interstate exchanges at 46 and 41, with the primary focus right now to be at 46 due to the development and the casino that's coming in, but also to work with some private property owners to clean up areas near the gateway. So they're working, again, closely with the airport consultant on that. Additionally, they want to collect some data for attraction impact. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation, they intend to provide us with some of that data, so we'll be able to use that to make some decisions on planning going forward. And then finally, we want them to implement neighborhood and downtown cleanup, and they're in the process of planning now. So we have some supporting task forces. We have community branding, and that's to redefine Terre Haute as it relates to the new vision of the city through the community plan. Some of the branding partners that are encouraged to use that would be the Arts and Cultural District, the business community, the city, higher ed, the county, Terre Haute EDC, the school corporation. All of those are encouraged to use the new CU in Terre Haute branding. And then finally, we have the Resource Development Supporting Task Force that's led by Rob Coons and Rachel Leslie. And their primary goal is to help identify funding sources and additional resources to help with each of these task forces propel forward. We've created an external dashboard for for each of the task forces, and they're all available on the Chamber website. But you can see the overall plan goals of halting population decline and increasing the per capita income are on every external data or external dashboard. And then their specific tasks are listed with the progress of each one. And then we've identified a key performance indicator for each one of the task forces. So again, those can all be found at the Chamber website. Well, that's a quick overview of the community plan. If you have any questions, you can contact Kristen Craig. She's the president of the Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce, or you can reach out to me, and our emails are there on the screen, and we hope that this provided some insight into some great things that are happening in our community.